Hi, and welcome to the Breathing Space Open Information Session for May 2026. My name's Ben, and I'm the founder of Breathing Space. And for the next 30 minutes or so, your guide as I walk you through and share all about Breathing Space, our amazing community, and our different training pathways. Before we do anything else, though, should we just stop, pause, and share a couple of breaths together? Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a presentation with you that will also be available to you. So some of the links at the end you'll be able to click on and download. I'm going to talk about breathing space. I'm going to talk about our 50-hour coaching program and then our full 400-hour facilitator training. And then at the end, there'll be a few more little bits of information for you. So here we go. Here's my presentation. Breathwork training with breathing space for the open information session for May 2026. The first part is going to be all about breathing space. And I thought I'd give you a bit of a timeline to start off with. First of all, you'll see that rather cool looking black and white photo of me. Next to me is my wife, Jennifer, who co-founded Breathing Space with me, who was actually with me when I first discovered breathwork in 2014 in Bali. We'd actually just got engaged at the moment, and we got invited to a breathwork session. We both had done a lot of meditation and yoga at that moment. We thought we knew what breathwork was, but we didn't. And that breathwork that we took changed our lives, and it set us on a course, well, that has led to this moment now. So I began breathwork training in 2017, and Breathing Space was founded then, originally just to run workshops and retreats. But by 2019, we had pivoted into running training. My background is as a school teacher. My wife, Jen, was an online educator. So we pivoted to running online trainings. So breathwork could be accessible to everyone in the world, not just through us running this, but our mission was to light up the world with breath. And we knew that if we could train other facilitators to take breathwork to communities, to places, to languages that we would not be able to reach, well, the reach of breathwork would become exponential. So 2019, we started our first breathwork facilitator training program. And then since then, well, all sorts have happened. I've put a couple of dates in here, but there's so many other things I could talk about. A couple of years later, we had got our accreditation from the Global Professional Breathwork Alliance, which is the highest breathwork authority, really. They set ethical and training standards. We ran an inspiration festival where we did it online and in person, and we started running trainings in different languages. A couple of years later, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary of discovering breathwork. And by that point, we had completed over 30 trainings with multiple teachers in multiple languages. And this is something I'm extraordinarily proud of, that breathwork, breathing space isn't just me teaching. There is a whole faculty of teachers who are spreading the word of breathwork out there. Last year, we launched our 50-hour coaching program, which has been insanely successful. And we got accreditation from a couple of extra bodies, the Continuing Professional Development and the Federation of Holistic Therapists as well, which I'm also very proud of. As an educator for over 25 years now, I am very, very proud of the educational rigor with which we approach breathing space, and this has been recognized by multiple bodies now. So I'm very proud of what we have created with breathing space. I thought I'd start off by talking about the foundations of breathing space, which have been part of us since we began all those years ago. First of all, there is a huge emphasis on connection and community. Everything that we do happens in connection, whether we want to admit it with ourselves. So we do our best to build safe, welcoming community where everyone is welcome and understood. Breathwork really leads us to connection, to our own high selves, to each other, and to that which is beyond this physical realm as well. So connection and community is an absolutely fundamental part in breathing space. And let's face it, it's more fun if you learn together as well. So I don't want cookie cutter versions of me. There isn't a breathing space method. There isn't a cutout vision of what a breathing space breathwork coach or facilitator looks like. Everyone comes in with a different set of life experiences, skills, qualifications, and interests. We want you to discover your voice, style, and flavor as a breathworker, not to just try and copy a formula that someone else has created. We give everyone in breathing space all sorts of opportunities to step up and lead and reach your highest potential. Because let's be honest, that's really how you learn. Leading breathwork is like riding a bike. You can't just read a manual about how to do it or watch some videos. You have to get up and do it. You have to lead breathwork. That's how you learn to do anything. It's like a muscle that you flex. So we make spaces where people can step up and lead. And I'm very proud of that aspect of what we do. As an educator, I am super passionate about making our space accessible to everyone, to make it as supportive as possible. So we do absolutely everything that we can whilst making sure that we keep the integrity of the course very, very high to succeed. My vision is to get breathwork out into the world, and I want there to be more successful facilitators and coaches. So we will do everything that we can to make not just the course open to you, but to support you on your journey. And if those foundations weren't enough to sell you on breathing space, I thought I'd talk you through 5 extra things that I think makes breathing space very special. Now, first of all, my vision of breathwork is really big. Breathwork shouldn't just be focusing on physical health and well-being or emotional regulation or even cathartic or breakthroughs or spiritual awakening. I think breathwork can do, and I know that it does all of those things. So in our training, we cover that whole aspect of breathwork, from breathworks for physical health and well-being and fitness and performance to emotional balancing to creativity to mental clarity to subtle experiences of breathwork, magical experiences of breathwork, to the deepest, most subtle, the most spiritual aspects of breathwork. We combine science and the esoteric wisdom traditions to give a truly holistic, thorough grounding in breathwork. I mentioned that I am a teacher for many, many, many years, and I'm passionate about lifelong learning. So we offer continuing education for all members of the breathing space community, and that is a lot. There's monthly masterclasses, weekly support sessions, breathwork labs, long workshops, and the most staggering library of resources that you will never, ever, ever get through. So this isn't just a once and done. You've got your certificate and that's it, goodbye. Breathing Space as a community offers something to support you as you go on. And this is something else that kind of keys into that. Breathing Space is a pathway. It's not just a training course, and it's not just a school or a community. We can support people from taking their very first conscious breaths. So when you first discover the power of your breath, when you first find that magic within you, to training to become coaches, which takes 50 hours, or then to become facilitators, which takes 400 hours, and then moving on to become teachers, which takes 800 hours in total. And at that point, you are a master of the breath, and you can lead other people on that journey as well. So breathing space is a pathway. We're all on this journey. It never really ends for any of us. And my vision is for breathing space to support you throughout your journey. So I mentioned before about breathwork being a muscle that you have to practice to really master it. We run 5 online breathing spaces every week. These are free hour-long workshops where anyone in the world can join and discover the power of their breath. But even more than that, these are spaces where anyone in breathing space can step up and lead. This is a place for trainees as much as it is for the general public to practice becoming facilitators. And I'm very proud of that. These online breathing spaces, I think, are unique in the breathwork world and probably in the holistic wellness space. that anyone can access breathwork, and that it gives our students, our trainees, and our mentors and graduates and teachers the place to practice what they love doing. Now, finally, our training is deeply rooted in trauma-informed practice. You might have heard this word trauma bandied around, and to make our spaces trauma-informed and accessible and safe for everyone, well, we have done a lot of work, not just to make, tick box modules on trauma, but to weave it throughout all our training. So if you are concerned about that, well, you have definitely come to the right place. A few things that you get access to when you join our community. First of all, is the Breathing Space member directory. This is a public-facing database of all our breathworkers in Breathing Space. So by getting an entry onto here, anyone can find you. Anyone who's looking for a breathworker, perhaps someone in the next town or village, Google's breathworkers near me, this will come up. And it's an amazing piece of kit because those people can then message you. You'll see on these ones here the star ratings. So whenever anyone leads a breathwork, it's courteous to leave them a review. And you'll see, Vicky here with 44 reviews, and this is a few weeks old now, this print screen. Sarah has got 34 reviews. Jennifer has got 29 reviews. So it is a place where people can review you and you can build trust. It is more than that, though, because you can also list events on there and publish blogs on there to really build that relationship with people, to build trust and credibility in you. It's an amazing piece of kit that we have here. And this is the gateway to the Breathing Space circle and community. There's a few other databases of breathworkers, but I think this one is the best one, certainly one of the largest ones, but I think it's the best as well. So you get that when you join our community, but that isn't all. And you get this, by the way, free for the duration of your training. We'll connect and communicate in Breathing Space using a messaging app called Slack. It was built for organizations, so it's perfectly for what we do. You can message people directly, for instance, me. I'm on there, but there's a lot of public threads as well that you can see. There is an announcements thread where I post up events every week that are coming on. There's a support thread. So if you've got any questions about breathwork or facilitation or leading or coaching, you can post in there at any time. If you've got an event on, post in there. We have a big culture of celebrating each other in Breathing Space. So if you have connected with someone and you feel they've done a really good job, post in there. There's a sharing space where you can share blogs or you can share social media posts or pieces of music that you like. And now we've started a co-working space. So many of us work from home, and we find that working in connection community with others is actually a really nice way to do it. So if someone is working from home and they want to open up a Zoom room, other people can come in and work together in connection and community. So that's one thing that we have. And then finally, I mentioned that you get access to a lot of resources. Well, here's just a snapshot of some of them. Breathwork Library, that has got hundreds and hundreds of masterclasses in there, going back since we began in 2020, when myself and other leaders in breathwork and other wellness fields have come in and shared their passion and expertise. There's so much in there. There is an online Breathing Space Vault. So I mentioned all those workshops that we run, the 5 free workshops. Well, we record those and they go into the online Breathing Space Vault. So we've got over 500 hour-long breathworks in there right now. The live breathwork access includes longer workshops with me and other teachers. We've got the Inspiration Festival Vault, which has got over 80 interviews with leading breathworkers. There's some shorter breathwork courses as well, 90 breaths and 30-day breathwork journey, and a couple of extra courses that you get access to as well, smaller courses. But other benefits of being part of the Breathing Space, you get monthly live masterclasses on Zoom that you can join. I think 4 a month of really in-depth masterclasses. We get 2 monthly 2-hour workshops with either myself or a senior Breathing Space teacher. We run weekly support and supervision sessions. So if you've got a question about your practice or need some advice around something, you can come in. and breathwork labs as well, where you can come in and practice. You get to lead our online breathing spaces, and of course, free attendance at my in-person workshops that I run. So all of that. Oh, and retreats when I run them, you get discount places on that. So that is a huge amount of support that you get when you join Breathing Space. I'm just going to stop there and just take a breath for a moment. Now, might be a good place to just pause here. And are there any questions that you might like to ask? Okay, well, let's continue. Now, I'm going to talk now about our coaching program, a 50-hour coaching program. So this was only started last year, but it has been really, really successful. It is a fully online course structured over 12 weeks. It's drip-fed a module a week for 12 weeks. It includes guided learning, support sessions, and a lot of practice assignments. It prepares you to lead dozens of different breathwork techniques and exercises for all different situations and all different reasons. It is very practical and it is very trauma sensitive, designed to teach you how to guide others safely and effectively. Very much focused on coaching and client support. You'll learn how to integrate breathwork into anything else that you do. Perhaps that's coaching or therapy or yoga or sound healing. These breathworks will integrate with whatever else you do. Because let's face it, breathwork is with everything anyway. You will become part of a supportive community. You will gain 9 months free access to the Breathing Space Circle, which I've just talked about, and all those resources will be available to you. Networking, continued learning, 9 months free access to the Breathing Space Circle. Now, just a little note here. The coaching course prepares you, certifies you to lead loads of different breathwork techniques and exercises, but not conscious altering breathwork practices. For instance, conscious connected breathwork or other high ventilation practices. So those ones, you need a longer and deeper training. Luckily, we've got our 400-hour training, which I'm going to be talking to you about in a bit. So that's what the 50-hour coaching certification is. Some of the things that you'll gain: confidence. You will be able to lead breathwork sessions safely and effectively in one-on-one and group sessions. You'll get a very strong foundation in science and practice, because it is a lot of physiology, anatomy, and biochemistry that you learn in this course. You'll understand how the breath affects the body, the mind, and the nervous system. But it is very hands-on. It is practical. There are practice sessions, case studies, and a lot of reflection as you go through the course. And of course, it is a pathway to professional certification. You get a certificate from me after 3 months. And if you stay engaged for an extra 6 months after that, so 9 months in total, 3 months, you get a certificate from me. And if you stay with us for 9 months, then you will get a second certificate, which will mean that you can join the Global Professional Breathwork Alliance personally at their ethically compliant breathwork level. You don't have to do that. You can leave after 3 months, and the certificate that you get from me is accepted anywhere. Now, some of the things in the curriculum: core breathwork techniques, loads and loads of different breathwork exercises that support people for stress or for energy, for emotional regulation, for creativity, for internal inquiry. So many different breathwork exercises. You'll learn about the science of the breath, the physiology, the anatomy. You'll learn about how to make places trauma sensitive, how to make spaces safe, inclusive, and empowering for your breathers. You will learn how to hold space for people, how to coach people with confidence and presence, and of course, ethical integrity. Structuring breathwork sessions. Well, I know it's a bit of a mystery when you're starting off, but we take you very clearly how to design and lead effective one-on-one and group sessions. And of course, there's a big emphasis on ethical and professional practice. We go into consent and boundaries and the scope of breathwork in this course. So what's included? 12 weeks of self-guided curriculum, online content, and you get a lifetime access to that. So that means you guide yourself. You are supported because one of our teachers is always there to respond to anything that you submit online. So it is supported, but you guide yourself through the curriculum. 50 hours of professional breathwork coaching education is what it has been certified at. Very comprehensive. There's videos, there's a lot of reading, there's practice logs, there's scripts, there's session structures. So there's a lot of resources in there and different ways to learn. You get 9 months membership of the Breathing Space Circle. That is our community that I talked about at the beginning. If you want to stay part of that afterwards, amazing, because it's well worth it and it will cost £15 a month. But you get 9 months free membership. And as I mentioned earlier, there's monthly masterclasses, weekly support spaces, a big peer community, a huge resource library. You get certification after 3 weeks, and that will qualify you, certify you to lead breathwork anywhere to anyone, obviously not including those high ventilation practices. But that will get you insurance, that will, as a certificate of proof that you can do what you're doing, that's accepted everywhere. But if you want to extend your training by 6 months for free, then you will get a second certificate that will allow you to join the Global Professional Breathwork Alliance personally. The price for this is £500, but there is a self-selecting bursary place for those from anyone who needs it. You know, I really want to feel that. So if you feel that £500 is a barrier to you, then there is a 20% off code that you can enter. You don't have to do anything or prove anything. You just enter a code that is available on the website. There's no application process. There's also a payment plan. There's a 4-month one on the website, so it will be £100 a month for 4 months. But I can also give you a 8-month payment plan, so it would be only £50 a month for 8 months. And that is an amazing way to start your breathwork career. Let's just stop for a moment and take a breath. Okay, shall we talk about the 400-hour facilitator training? Why not? So the Breathwork Facilitator training is a 400-hour program. It takes about 9 months, sometimes to 12 months, depending on the pathway that you take. It's online and it focuses on the most powerful conscious altering breathwork techniques: conscious connected breathwork, shamanic breathwork, 3-part breathwork, anything that will invite in a deeper experience. The training includes 21-hour, 2-hour live seminars. So that's the live element that you join with a teacher and you go through the course material. A very, very deep, comprehensive, engaging online course where all the material is. There is daily and weekly home practice. There's a lot of home study that you have to do. There's monthly masterclasses, which are part of your guided learning hours. And of course, the live practice spaces that we've already mentioned that you get access to through the Breathing Space Circle, the online breathing spaces, but also the Breathwork labs and support and supervision spaces. The Breathwork Coach program forms part of the training. You have to do that. Now, you can either do it before you commit to the 400-hour training or at the same time concurrently with the 400-hour training. But the Breathwork Coach training kind of does all the basic techniques or the foundational aspects, and then the 400-hour focus on the deepest conscious altering practices. So the Breathwork Coach forms part of it. You either do it beforehand or at the same time. Some of the things that you'll gain. Okay, I'm going to be honest, you cannot do this journey unless you're committed to going on your own deep personal journey of growth and transformation. Right? We have to walk that path ourselves. And that is absolutely fundamental. So you have to be prepared to go that. And I promise you, however much work you've done, there's more. There's always more to be done. If this course is anything, it is about mastering the art of facilitation. You'll learn how to confidently hold powerful, transformational spaces for both groups and one-on-ones, both online and in person. People come for the breathwork, but actually what you really learn is how to hold space for people. And the breath is the tool that we use in those spaces. The essential skills and knowledge you'll gain, well, it's huge. In 400 hours, you learn a lot. Anatomy, physiology, trauma-informed practice, ethics, the business of breathwork. There's a lot in there that you learn. Practically, it is always very practical because that's how we learn. There's regular structured teaching opportunities in a very supportive environment. And of course, you become part of our community, a really deep embedded part, not just in the big breathing space community, but with your peers, with the people that you train with, maybe with your teacher, or if you're on our apprenticeship pathway. But breathing space is a place to really connect and build relationships that, I will be honest, that will probably last your whole life. And of course, it is a pathway to professional certification at the highest level in the world. If you stay with us for an extra year after you've completed our 400 hours, you can join the GPBA at their highest level. There's no more learning to do, but you have to stay in breathing space for an extra year of supervision. And that's because the GPBA has a requirement for 2 years of study. So we support you doing that. Some of the things now, I'm not going to go through all of these. You can pause this recording here if you want to and learn and have a look through some of the things, only some of the things that you will go, but just picking things out, how to do music and playlists in breathwork sessions. You'll learn about the subtle bodies of breathwork, the magical bodies of breathwork. You'll learn how to do touch in breathwork. You'll learn the history of breathwork and the science of breath. Anyway, pause the screen. Just have a look at some of these topics that we cover. Now, there's 2 pathways that we offer. You can do group training. That is the traditional way to learn. There's been dominant really for 200 years in the West. You join a group. They start at a particular time with seminars on a particular day at a particular time. Usually they're 2-hour seminars every 2 weeks for about 20 times. And you go through that journey, and that takes about 9 months. There's another option, because that doesn't work for everyone. Some people are able to and want to work quicker, or they want to take a longer, or they want a one-on-one experience. This one also might work if you want an in-person element, because if you can find a teacher who is near you, then there is the invitation, the opportunity to learn in person as well. The apprenticeship is just with one teacher, and you meet with them rather than a group. Usually you meet for 1 hour a week, but because it's just the 2 of you, you can be super flexible. Suitable for those who wish for an accelerated pathway. Now, let's have a look at the prices here. Group training is the cheapest option, £3,000 or £2,400 on a bursary place. The apprenticeship is slightly more expensive, £3,750. Or if you want to go with a senior teacher, or indeed me, you can do so. Now, bursary places are available on both pathways, so that's 20% off, and of course, payment plans of up to 30 months available. So £100 a month really is the price. Now, just a point, one point here. If you do your coaching training first, the money that you invest in your coaching training is deducted from the price of the facilitator training. So you don't lose out any money by just dipping your toe in and doing the coaching training first. Who's this for? Well, you need to be ready to step into your role as a healer and guide. You are committed to a journey of personal growth. You're a wellness professional. Already, maybe you're working in breathwork, perhaps a yoga teacher or a therapist or a coach, but I don't have to be. You may have never done anything like this before, but you have heard the power of breath within you, and you're ready to embrace that journey. I'm going to stop this bit in a second, because our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. It's that we are powerful beyond measure. As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give permission for others to do the same. And that's why this journey is so powerful. We step into our full potential, our full sovereignty. And I love this training program because it allows people to do that. Now let's take a breath. We'll just pause here, and then I will talk about the next steps. Thank you so much for staying with me through the 50-hour training course and the 400-hour course. Not much left to go. I'm just going to share a little bit about the next steps that to think about. So if you are feeling that you are ready to do this, there's an invitation to book a no pressure discovery call where you can come and meet with me personally and ask any questions. I offer that call for anyone, whether you want to do the coach or the facilitator training. However, if you think, yep, I'm sold, I want to do the coach training immediately, then you can sign up straight from the website. If you want to join the facilitator training program, you have to have a call with me because I don't want to waste anyone's time. We need to find out, really, both of us, if it's the right course for you and we are the right training provider for you. So you're very welcome to book a call with me to come and have a chat about this. But if you want to sign up for the coaching training, you can do that straight from the website. But if you want to do a little bit of investigation before that point, if you're not quite ready yet, well, here's a few ways to do that. Some links for you to follow. First of all, we'll come to one of our online breathing spaces. They're on the website. You can explore our free resources because we've got a lot of stuff on the website to do that. Maybe you want to try our Rewire program, which is a 12-week introduction to breathwork. But there's a lot of course outlines as well that you can download and explore. So with this recording, you will see the link to this presentation. Open the presentation, find this page, and then you'll be able to click on these links. Now, other links that you might want to click on: more information about our coach training, our facilitator training, our online breathing spaces, booking a call, testimonials about breathing space. We've got a lot of stuff about research on our website. If you want to download the course outlines, you can do them there. And of course, a few non-breathing space links for you: the GPBA, the Global Professional Breathwork Alliance, the closest thing we have to a governing body. You can check them out, find breathing space on there. And by the way, I do really encourage you to investigate all different breathwork schools to find the right people for you. And I cannot recommend highly enough finding one that is registered with the GBPA. There's a lot of breathwork out there, and it's not a guarantee that the breathwork training will be good, but it's a higher probability that it will be. There's the IBF, the International Breathwork Foundation. You can even sign up for our blog where we post regular articles about breathwork. But really, I think here I want to say a thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining me in those breaths. Thank you for being interested in breathwork. It is my mission to spread breathwork out into the world, to really light up the world with breath. And my belief is that as we light up ourselves, and for me, every conscious breath that we take is a form of activism. As we light up ourselves, we light the way for others. And we give permission for them to light up themselves as well. So it lights up the whole world, and it lights up the world for those who are yet to come. It is, for many people, a dark place, but it doesn't have to be. We can all bring a little bit more light. So thank you so much for joining me on this, and I really hope that we get to share some more breaths together. Let's close right now by sharing one more. I hope we get to share some more together.